I'm back again today for another First Chapter Friday, and today's book is Furia. This book is part of the Battle of the Books for the 21-22 school year. And each time I do these First Chapter Fridays, I'm going to read you a little bit of the first chapter, and it's always a first impression for me. So I haven't read anything from this book before, and we'll see what we think of the book. I do know it has something to do with soccer, but that's all I know. All right. Lies have short legs. I learned this proverb before I could speak. I never knew exactly where it came from. Maybe the saying followed my family across the Atlantic all the way to Rosario, the second largest city in Argentina at the end of the world. My Russian great grandmother Isabel embroidered it on a pillow after her first love broke her heart and married her sister. My Palestinian grandfather Ahmed whispered it to me every time my mom found his hidden stash of wine bottles. My Ansalduan grandmother Elena repeated it like a mantra until her memories and regrets called her to the next life. Maybe it came from Matilda, the woman who chased freedom to Las Pampas, all the way from Brazil. But of her, this black woman whose blood roared in my veins, we hardly ever spoke. Her, her last name got lost, but my grandmother's grandma still showed up so many generations later in the way my brown hair curled, the shape of my nose, and my stubbornness. Ay, Dios mío, my stubbornness. Like her, if family folklore was to be trusted, I had never learned to shut up or do as I was told. But perhaps the word sprouted from this land that the conquistadores thought was encrusted with silver, the only inheritance I'd ever received from the indigenous branch of my family tree. In any case, when my mom said them to me as I was getting ready to leave the house that afternoon, I brushed her off. I'm not lying, I insisted, fighting with the tangled laces of my sneakers. Real Nikes that Pablo, my brother, had given me for Christmas after he got his first footballer paycheck. I told you, I'll be at Roxana's. My mom put down her sewing, a sequin skirt for a quinceañera, and she stared at me. Be back by 7. The whole family will be over to celebrate the season opener. The whole family. As if. For all their talk of family unity, my parents weren't on speaking terms with any of their siblings or cousins. But my dad's friends and Pablo's girlfriend would be there eating and gossiping and laughing until who knew when. You know Pablo, Mom? I'm sure he has plans with the team. He specifically asked me to make pizzas, she said with a smirk. Now you be on time and don't do anything stupid. Stupid like what? My words came out too harsh, but I had stellar grades. I didn't do drugs. I didn't sleep around. Hell, I was 17 and not pregnant, unlike every other woman in my family. You would have thought she'd give me some credit, be on my side, but no, nothing I did was ever enough. I was not enough. It's not like I can go to El Gigante. I don't have money for a ticket. She flung the fabric aside. Mira, Camila, how many times have I told you that a football stadium, no place for a decent señorita? That girl who turned up in a ditch, if she hadn't been hanging out with the wrong crowd, she'd still be alive. There was a little bit of truth in what she said, but just a little. That girl, Jimena Marquez, had gone missing after a game last year. She had been killed by her boyfriend, El Paco. He and Pope Francisco shared a name, but El Paco was no saint. Everyone knew that, just as everyone knew he used every woman in his life as a punching bag, starting with his mother. If I pointed this out, though, my mom would start ranting about Ni Una Menos movement, how it was all feminist propaganda, and I'd miss my bus. My championship game, the only one my mom couldn't know about, was at 4, the same time as Central League's opener. At least they were on opposite ends of the city. Vieja, I said, instantly regretting calling her old. She wasn't even 40 yet. We live in the 21st century, in a free-ish country. If I wanted to go to the stadium, I could. You could too, Mommy. Pablo would want to see you there too. You know that, right? Her face hardened. The last time she'd been to the stadium, Central had lost, and my dad had joked that she had been La Yeta, the bad luck. My mom was a never forgive, never forget kind of person, and would remember his words until her last breath. Because what if he was right? What if she had been the reason Pablo's team had lost? Throwing my last card, I let just enough of the truth spill out. I was going to Roxana's after the game to quench her fears. At Roxana's, I can hear what happens in the stadium, Mama. Just give me this, please. What am I supposed to do here all day? She tugged at a stubborn thread. It's Mama, Camila. Don't talk to me like a country girl. If my sister Graciela heard you speak like this, her eyes swept over me, up and down. And why are you wearing those baggy pantsy, huh? If you'd let me make you a few dresses, I almost laughed. If she was picking how I talked and how I dressed, I had won this battle. But then she said, you're hiding something and it worries me. My heart softened. I had been hiding that something for an entire year since Coach Alicia had discovered Roxana and me playing in the night league and recruited us to her team. Pobre mama. I wish I could share my secret with her, but in spite of what my parents believed, I had learned my lessons. When I was 12, my dad found me playing football in the neighborhood portrero with a bunch of boys. I've been having the time of my life until he started bellowing at me in front of the whole barrio that he wasn't raising a marimacho, that football was for men. I took it all in silence, ready to cry at my mom's feet, but she sided with him, and I hadn't talked to her about football since. Ciao, Ma. I pecked her on the cheek and dashed for the door in freedom. I'll tell Mrs. Fong you said hi. Answer your phone when I call you. My cheap phone was inside my back pocket, safely out of credit, but she didn't know that. Ciao, te quiero. I threw her a kiss and ran out the door before she could stop me. I'm going to stop right there. All right, so she's got some secrets going. Her mom, her parents don't let her play football, but she loves it, obviously. And from what I remember in just like when I purchased the book, I hear that she like moves up in the game and makes it like to the championship. And her parents really aren't supportive of that. So I'm curious to see what happens. There's definitely that double standard that, boys can play sports, but girls, that's like, male macho kind of thing to do. So I'm curious to see what happens. And I definitely like her attitude, like she's strong. She's like, I'm going to do it because it's right, because I'm good at it, and I may have to hide it a little bit, but if it's what I want, I'm going to make it happen. So I'm excited to see where this book goes. If you're interested in this book, we do have it at the library, and I hope that you will check it out. It is also part of the Battle of the Books 2021-2022 reading list, so I hope you'll participate in that. If you have any questions, you can always reach out to me on social media, send me an email or DM me, and I hope you guys have a wonderful day.